How everybody doing? I can see that. I think we all look great today. I just want to say my name is Siddiqui Dalzo, the chairperson of the African Ambassador Council, and I think we all has been talking about crimes in the community, and having our board president to be here with us tonight, it means everything. Not every leader can do this. So with that being said, please get a round of applause to our board president for being such a good leader. Thank you. Madam Board President, thank you for your leadership, and we are so much proud of you. And please continue to do this. You got our support. Thank you. So with that being said, I just want to give a background of some of the things our board president has been doing. Our board president has been a tremendous person in our community, and sometimes our board president call people to see what is going on, what can she do to help the community move forward. To have such a leader in our community, we have to embrace her in everything that we're actually doing. But our topic here today is about crime, and we're all aware that crime has been rated up in the Bronx, especially the Sheridan place where we are right now. You know, being a parent and understanding what is going on, we couldn't have a better time to have this conversation than now. With that being said, without taking longer time, I would like for everybody to please stand up and welcome our board president to speak and introduce the panelists as well. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for being here. An official welcome to PS 443, the family school here in District 9. Thank you to Principal Rowena Trent, to our District 9 Superintendent Harry Sherman, who's here. Thank you, Superintendent Sherman. We also want to recognize New York City Public Schools Chancellor Melissa Aviles Ramos was here earlier with us. And I know many of you were able to speak with her. She introduced herself. She is a partner. She is from the Bronx and now leading the largest public school system in the nation. She is absolutely committed to this work. So I look forward to working with Chancellor Ramos and her team at New York City Public Schools and all the panelists who are here. Always great to be here to talk about very important issues that are of great concern to all of us. And so let me thank all the elected officials. We will shortly hear from our district attorney, Darcel Clark, who's here. Thank you, DA Clark. We also have the offices of State Senator Louis Sepulveda, Assembly Member Landon Days. We have Council Member Althea Stevens. We have Gina Williams here on behalf of New York City Public Advocate Jamani Williams. We have other distinguished leaders that represent our community, and we are so grateful for you to be here tonight. Thank you, Siddiqui Danzo, our very own chairman of the African Advisory Council in the Office of the Bronx Borough President. The AAC has been around for quite some time, and we are intentional about making sure that we lift up the voices of our African community. No matter where you represent, you are a part of the fabric of our community. As leaders, as credible messengers, trusted partners, we all have a responsibility to keep our community safe, to make sure that we are a part of important conversations when it comes to public safety, when it comes to education, when it comes to jobs and pathways to college and careers for our young adults. As David said from our team, we have been talking consistently with our African leaders, with our imams. We have been traveling across the borough. We have been talking about what is happening in our larger community, but specifically right within our own community, and what we can do, the role we play, the responsibility that we have, but also we want to be very solutions-based. We can talk about data, we can talk about statistics, but at the end, of this conversation, this is about all of us. This is about our children, our young people, our scholars, our future leaders of our community. This is about lifting them up, but it's also about acknowledging what is happening right here in our community. And for that, we are grateful. Thank you to Wesley Keynes, our Deputy Executive Director at the Bronx Defenders. Thank you, Wesley, for being here. To Gilly Delgado, our very own representative from Guns Down, Life Up, that is a credible messenger, part of the New York City anti-gun violence movement, physically in Lincoln Hospital, but all over the Bronx. You see Guns Down, Life Up, because we realize that we are all a part of this important work. So as community leaders, elected officials, elected representatives, no matter the title in front of your name, I am here to remind you that we all have a responsibility. And as your borough president, it's always important for me to be in these spaces because many times I hear from our residents and our parents and our leaders about what we are doing to keep them safe. What is the answer when our residents are involved in violence? Whether they are a victim of a crime or they are a suspect in a crime, right? And so we're looking at this from both sides, folks. We don't take sides because we are all about the Bronx. We are all about public safety and we are all about our young people. So to all the organizations that are involved, in addition to Bronx Defenders, I want to say thank you again, Guns Down, Life Up. Thank you to GYO, Gambian Youth Organization, for all the work that you are doing. Thank you to Africana, to NCN, the Muslim Community Network. Thank you to Bronx Works. Thank you to our partners at the NYPD. Thank you. Thank you to Ebola for all your work, to Miram Consulting Agency, to the Cultural African Preservation, to United Gambians Association, to the Guinean Community of America, to everyone that provided the delicious food for us tonight. Thank you, Children's Village, to the Bell Organization, to Metro Plus. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are all in this together. And so I believe that I was given the responsibility, which I love, of recognizing our district attorney before we get into our panel discussion. And let me say that tonight's panel reflects our commitment. It is a diverse group of leaders and individuals that proudly represent our entire borough of the Bronx. No matter what neighborhood, we are tasked with the responsibility of making sure that we do our part. As I said earlier, we have to come up with the comprehensive plan that is necessary to keep our community safe. Because let me tell you, it is incredibly heartbreaking when we are notified, the district attorney and myself, NYPD, of a shooting, an act of violence, a domestic incident, and we have to plan a funeral, we have to go to a vigil or have a shooting response. That is happening far too often, folks. In just the last 2 weeks, the DA and I were notified of the violence that we're seeing in the Bronx among the youngest of our teenagers. 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. One individual that we identified as a possible suspect in one of these shootings is 12 years old. My goodness, what is happening in our community that a 12-year-old could even possess a weapon? And not only possess a weapon, family, but use it on someone. That is a call to action. It's a call to attention. We cannot stand on the sidelines and watch our communities destroy each other. We are more than that. We are better than that. And so tonight is a chance to have an honest conversation. You all know me and you know that I am unafraid to have an honest conversation because we have to be honest with ourselves about what is happening within our own borough, within our own neighborhoods, within our own communities. And equally as important, we have to be able to respond to it with programs and resources and jobs. We are the answer. No one is going to come into our communities to save us, but this is about us. Us. Not I, but us. And so I just leave you with this message, one of hope, one of optimism, one of solidarity, and one of unity. No matter what, we are here for all of our community. Let us not allow anyone to come into our communities and divide us among district lines, among race lines, gender, religious lines. None of that, family. But we are all one together. And so I am thankful that all of you took the time to come out tonight, because you recognize that this conversation is important, and equally that you are a part of this conversation, right? Usually, the people that are closest to the challenges are also closest to the solution. And so we are all the solution. We are all the answer. And no matter what, let us continue to think outside of the box and be creative in our work. So it is absolutely my honor to recognize and call up a friend to our community, a friend to our borough, a champion. She
Ishmael, welcome.
Ishmael.
Right, everyone, I think we're going to start right now. We'll fix this. Alright, assalamu alaikum. Is Imam Sikh here? We're going to have to start, so we're going to start by an opening prayer from Imam. Check, is there anyone who could? The President of the Indian Community of America.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for inviting me up here. Greetings to everyone. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa sallim. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. May Allah make this gathering a very good gathering and a positive outcome. May Allah bless us, bless our children. Allah bless America and Americans. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So again, thank you so much everyone for coming here, for being here tonight. My name is David Ahmed Kulbali, and I'm the Director of Community Affairs at the Office of the Bronx Borough President. Vanessa Gibson, who is sitting here with us today. Please put your hands together for our Borough President. Thank you so much. So this is a follow-up of a conversation that we had 2 months ago at Lincoln Hospital, where we discussed about public safety, reimagining policy, and the Borough President wanted to do a follow-up conversation here in this specific community, which is predominantly West Africa, to gather community leaders, organizations, to talk about some of the issues that we're seeing, especially violence, and how to be part of the solution to collectively come together to find a lasting solution to addressing some of the activities we see in the community. So that's why we're here tonight. It's going to be a nice conversation. I want to say thank you so much to our NYPD partner who are here. I want to say thank you so much to Africana. Thank you so much to Guns Down, Life Up. I want to say thank you so much to MCN. And I want to say thank you so much to Bronx Defender, Deputy Director, Mr. Wesley is here. I want to say there's a lot of African community here representing the Badingo community, the Lawson Fofana community, the GCAT, the Lawson Foundation is here, Mr. Fofana is here, and we also have the Gambian, United Gambian Association here doing fantastic work in the Bronx as well. So, and we do have a lot of folks here as well. So, but tonight, our moderator is none other than our chairman of the African Advisory Council, Mr. Sidiki Donzo, who is going to take the lead to pretty much lead this organization and this event tonight. Thank you so much, everyone.
Already having been established, because Vanessa makes sure she says hello and recognizes everyone. She's much better at that than I am. But I thank this panel tonight. And I'm here tonight not to give a speech, okay? Because you all have heard me over and over and over talking about the conditions that we live in here in the Bronx and how we can do better and how much I am so concerned about us losing a generation of our young people to gun violence and other violence that's happening in this community. I can say it over and over and over, but it doesn't mean anything for me to say it. It's about us coming together and really having some solutions. And this is not, that's what my office is doing every day. Look, I've been to the Islamic Cultural Center. How many funerals have I attended with you all? That has got to stop. I get the phone calls from you. I understand the issues. But most importantly, I need to speak to the young people that you elders have been coming to me about. We can't resolve this unless we do it together as a community, the young and the more seasoned individuals in our community. I was just at the Islamic Cultural Center, was it 2 months ago, a double funeral there. That's got to stop. That was gun violence on 2 different occasions. Too many guns coming in here. There are options to violence. People say, oh, we need alternatives to incarceration. No, we need alternatives to violence. Because when we start talking about incarceration, it's too late. Somebody has done something that they're on their way to jail or prison. I want to stop. I'm the DA, and I can stop that if I partner with you to talk about the preventive measures that we need to do in order to turn the community around, in order for our young people to know that they should pick up a book and not a gun, that there are options for them to look into. And I want to be part of that solution. I am part of that solution, but so are you. And working with the defense guards, I'm glad that Bronx Defenders is here too, because they also understand that they play a role in public safety as well. They need to have a relationship with the DA so I can understand the individuals that come before me. Look, my office is trained that it's not about the charges. If we worried about somebody is charged with this and we just close our ears and our eyes to the person because they're charged with something, we would never come to the solution. They are trained to know that it's not about the charges, it's about who the individual is. Who is this person and how did they end up in front of us? And what is justice going to look like for each and every person that comes before us? And every single person is different. Every single person is different. And the approach is going to be different. But we need the input of the community.
Photographer Ismail.
At some point in time of the district attorney conversation, I forgot that I am the moderator of this event today. District attorney, thank you. And I have known the district attorney for over 15 when she was a judge, and up to today's day, she has been the same person as she has always been. And we are very lucky. We are lucky for the fact that we have people leaving their job to come and listen to us because they serve us. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to talk to our elected officials. What do we need? We know the history of Sheridan. We know what is happening here. We know how many people are involved. We interact with them. This is our community. I grew up here. I grew up in the Bronx, on Sheridan. So they are here to listen to us. So with that being said, I want to welcome Tyrese to come and introduce himself. Before we continue, thank you.
How's everybody doing? Thank you. My name is Tyreek Israel. I'm the Deputy Chief and the District Director for Councilmember Althea Stevens. She will be with us tonight. She's on her way in transit from City Hall. So obviously, when we got the call about a conversation with public safety, we jumped at it because a lot of people forget Althea is a constituent of her own district as well. We live here. And as much as I don't live here, but I live here. If you know, you know. And so we understand when people have concerns, we feel them personally. The calls that we get every day, we feel them as if we are the ones on the other end of the phone. So to have an ability to create a forum to address issues that are going on in our community, it's a no-brainer while we're here. We look forward to continuing to open up our space and our office through our multicultural board and our other initiatives to continue to push the multicultural agenda for everybody who lives in our community. I'm so happy to see the African community here tonight and all its diaspora. And I know the council member would be very happy as well. We appreciate everybody who's here to show up because it's the most important part of voicing your concerns, showing up. It's one thing to make a call, but it's another thing to be here on a Monday night after 6 p.m. So we appreciate you all. The council member will be here shortly, and I want to turn the mic back over. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that event and the reason we are all here. So one thing that we are going to start is to introduce the panelists. And the reason and the essence of the panelists is for our panelists to interact with the community. What are some of the questions that you would like for them to talk about? What are some of the things that happen in our community? You want to understand their concern and how we can collaborate to build a team to minimize or to have zero crimes in our community. So with that being said, the first person on our table is our own borough president, Vanessa L. Gibson. Please get a round of applause to her. And you also know we have our district attorney from the Bronx, and please get a round of applause to our district attorney for doing a fantastic work and being here to listen to us. And I would also like Wesley King. Is Wesley here? Mr. Wesley King that's the Deputy Executive Director for the Bronx Defender Office. Mr. Wesley King, thank you for being here. So we also have a representative from NYC Health Plus. And gone down, laugh up. Mr. Gilly Gilego. Thank you. And we also have our own brother, Hossein from Muslim Community Network. Thank you for being here, Hossein. And we also have our sister from Africana, Adam Abad. Thank you for being here. And we also have my own brother, Salim from Gambia, GYO. Thank you for being here, brother. And we'll also have Musu Dwame, Cultural African Preservation Topics. Where's Musu? Probably she's on her way. All right, thank you. So with that being said, if there's anyone on the table, NYPD Community Affairs, I forgot, you guys have been doing good work. NYPD has been one of the backbone of our community. So again, a round of applause to our NYPD community for doing what they're doing for the community. Thank you again. So I would like to start with questions that is here with me tonight to give them the opportunity to answer this question. Our first question goes to Wesley King, the Bronx defender. Mr. King, what role do legal service play in preventing violence and supporting at-risk in the community? How do I get this? Yeah, I need a mic. Yes. Is it fun? How nice to meet you. We project. We'll do this, you know? I got you. You know what? I'm gonna talk. I can just stay down here. Don't hurt yourself.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to thank my fellow panelists and the organizers of this conversation. I appreciate having been invited in to this conversation for a couple of reasons. Not only, first of all, to represent an organization that I feel very dear to my heart that does the work of supporting people in our communities, some of whom make terrible mistakes and who could quite possibly be judged by that worst mistake they made on that particular day. And I'll talk about the Bronx Defenders a little bit more, I imagine, with questions. But I'm really appreciative to be in this conversation because I'm from the Bronx. I grew up in Baychester. I now live in Soundview. I have gone into my local Walgreens and seen our borough president walking out. Like, we are all members of this community, and for me, I think we all have a vested interest in making sure that our young people are supported to thrive and be all that they can be in the Bronx, in America, and in the world. Thank you for that question. I think I'm going to turn the question around a little bit because I think by deconstructing the question, we can arrive at some solutions.
It's just a the question. You don't gotta make sure we got to go, we gotta go. Thank you. So to NYC Health and Hospital Representative, how can healthcare initiative contribute to violence prevention and what program are currently in place?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I want to say I feel honored and privileged to be amongst this panel right here. We're against gun violence. Ms. Vanessa Gibson and our program ourselves have done parents' houses to explain to the mom that her child's not going to come back and what resources do we have to offer her. So for Lincoln Hospital, we also have the after school program, which is a youth program, where we service over 300-400 kids. A lot from this community. And again,
Ini pala foto mereka. Ini pala foto. Ela primeiro. Ela primeiro.
Ela primeiro. Valero.
Babandai. Yeah, go on.
Those who may not pass, but we want to make sure that we come together in order to make sure more women in our community, more potentially women in our community, in our community. So we are recognizing darkness is king of our community. There was 3 murders over our community in a single month this summer. 2 murders happened in 24 hours. The violence is deeply rooted in unaddressed trauma and lack of mental wellness. A community that's angry, depressed, and carrying their unpacked pain. So our beer is called Islam in Africa, but this community hasn't really been smiling. So in the community network, we're doing a lot of community engagement. Myself, my brother Simon here, we've been holding community conversations at mosques, planning sessions to unpack collective trauma and create actionable solutions. We've been hosting mentorship programs. Right now, currently, we're doing work with Eagle Academy in Harlem, working with some members of the community there. That's a program that's funded by actually the Black Office, so that's something that we can talk about. Where we're really through art, creative exploration in order to show young men another way. We're doing capacity building. My brother here, Abu Sankar, is part of the program, the New Moon Initiative, running out of Foster Recreational Center. We're working with 13 young men in the African community on similar days where it's mentorship and mental wellness. And he's starting that with absolutely zero. He's starting from the ground up, and I'm making sure like our organization gets assisted anyway, but that's a young man that's making sure he can do something for himself. So making sure we do capacity building for organizations doing the work, making sure that we have funding for organizations that may be emerging that are trying to do work in the space, making sure that we unpack this trauma that the community has faced over the years and we really address it at its root cause. Thank you.
That question is a really well answered. Thank you. I want to applause for our brother Howard for that excellent answer. Now, so I also want to use this opportunity. The same question has to go to NYPD. You guys are doing a lot of great job in the community. So can you please share a specific strategy your organization or the NYPD employ to engage the community in violence prevention?
How you doing all? Thank you for having the NYPD involved in this panel. My name is Officer Escobar from the 44th Precinct Community Affairs. And several programs that we have within the NYPD, it's dedicated towards the youth. And we have Blue Chips, which is sports-oriented, football, basketball, several sports. But there's also a mentor aspect. You have your officer who has a good relationship, with the youth, and they take them to several places within the NYPD. You have your harbor unit, your aviation, your bomb squad, and other units within the NYPD. It's not just, the way of you get arrested, you go to jail. There's more to it within the NYPD, right? And also, there's the cadets. The cadets is a program where the youth can, if they have aspirations to be police officers, they join a program which is called the Cadets.
Shift the funding models to provide microgrants and upfront payments. This reimbursement model only works if you have the cash up front. My organization, MCN, we're still waiting for 40% of our annual budget from DYCD. So if you're expecting new nonprofits from the African community to come out and help to solve the problems, if they have no cash up front, that means everything is happening on a volunteer basis. That's not sustainable. That's not sustainable. And then also, youth empowerment. We're here to talk about the youth. Paid internship opportunities and career exploration programs should be mandatory for every business operating in the Bronx after a certain size. I just look at the statistics. MWBEs only get 5% of contracts in New York City. That's 1% of New York City spending. How is that possible that this city that's operated and run by Black, Hispanics, and people of color only get 1% of the annual spend of the contract that this city spends? And then there's no career exploration programs that's mandatory and tied to these funds. So if we're gonna be spending all this money, New York City's annual budget is $109 billion, let's make sure that every business is making sure that a couple of high school students are interning there doing admin and doing something else so they are able to learn some skills and enter the workforce. So financial literacy, career exploration, they're crucial to building a sustainable future. Like we really have to make sure that when the city is spending these dollars, there's something in it for our youth. Our youth do put money into the system. When they go buy a pack of candy or a pack of gum, they do pay that 8 cents tax on their dollar. So they are contributors, but they don't get to vote on where their money goes. So as adults, let's make sure the money is going to the places that they need, the institutions that's going to help them in the long run. We spend a lot of money on incarceration in our city. We spend a lot of money on law enforcement, but let's make sure we also spend the same amount of money on career exploration programs, on education, on making sure our kids are in the right places they need to be. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just piggyback and add on what you guys all said, but we really do need to talk about harm reduction. And the only way to do that is to fund these organizations to tackle just gun violence. It's going to get worse if we don't tackle it now. Especially, this topic is really taboo in our community. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's impossible to believe that your child has a gun. Because you're like, oh no, not from my culture, we don't do that, that's haram. But your children have a gun. And you have to face the reality of it. So definitely, let's fund small grassroots organizations that are already involved in the community in their native languages to tackle this topic. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll echo what both of the panelists just shared. I'll also say that individually, in small groups, we're not going to be able to move a lot. The needle is just not going to move. We need to organize and come together and recognize common interest areas and then move the system to be responsive to us. So the Bronx Defenders, we represent people who are charged with criminal offenses. We also represent people who are facing deportation, right? Who are facing eviction right up the block in housing court. We also defend people who are facing deportation, and we work with community members who are facing a lot of systems-connected, engagement. But the area of the office that I'm most proud of, although I'm proud of that direct client service work as well, is our community-facing work. We recognize that by the time someone comes to us as a client, there's so much going on that it's just too much for any one entity to address. But what we did several years ago in our community engagement team is that we partnered with 2 local nonprofits in the Bronx to build BLOCK. It's an acronym, stands for the Bronx Leadership and Organizing Center. And that center now has over 45 member organizations around the Bronx where we're able to tap into each other's clients and people that we serve We have a youth component. We have a youth advisory board. The youth convene a youth justice summit each summer. They do programming, identifying areas in their lives where they have issues and want adult support to address. This past June, their summit was themed around adultification. And if you don't know, adultification is when young people are treated as if they're adults. They're not allowed to be children. They're not allowed to make mistakes. They're not allowed to be not sexualized. Like, all of these things matter. But I'll say that in addition to funding will not come if you stand.
Always opportunities for jobs. We have to get our young people connected into these trades. So we work with all of the union, from the building trades, Bronx Board of Business Agents, and we are transforming these unions because a lot of unions were not diverse. We're having recruitment events at the high school level. We're talking to high schoolers about how they can build out their career. We're working with high schools now, freshmen and sophomore students, on building out their own business. And we're giving the schools funding to support that. We also have a My Brother's Keeper initiative and the component My Sister's Keeper. Because how many of you understand that we have to support our young ladies as well? Our young girls when it comes to empowerment opportunities. We have to support the young men and the young women. We have a Bronx Youth Council in our office that we are building out, and we meet every month with young people. And we allow them space to talk, to engage. We give them internships. We're able to hire them. We appoint them to the community board at 16 so that they can be representing their own neighborhood. The DA has a youth council. There are opportunities, but guess what? Parents don't know about it, right? If you don't know about it, then you can't be a part of it. So we have to educate, and like Adama said, we have to do it in the language in which our residents speak, the dialect in which they talk. I believe, as Hussein said, every school should have after school, but every school should be a community school. How about that?
Yes.
Because then you would be able to have a guaranteed CBO assigned to that particular school. We have to do more to build community centers, folks, and that is something that we are adamantly working on, because every young person should be connected to a rec center, a community center. We have challenges in our neighborhoods. You all know, if I live in Morris houses, I can't go to Butler. I can't go to Mott Haven. I can't go to Patterson. I can't go to Melrose. I can't go to Pelham Parkway or Eastchester Gardens. I got beef with folks over there. My parents don't want me to go. That's a reality for our young people. So if we are able to open up safe spaces in every single community, think about the impact that we'll make. So that's another important aspect. I believe in mental health services, food equity, all of that is super important. We are building out within New York City public schools, and now our chancellor will be able to carry it forward. Culturally sensitive meals. Where are our halal meals in schools? In New York City public schools, so that our children have the ability to eat food that is recognizing their culture and their differences and what's happening all across. So important, because we want to make sure that families have the support. I'm a firm believer in resource fairs and directories and guides. That's important for families, from housing, healthcare, open spaces, libraries, rec centers, after school, PAL, summer youth, Compass, Sonic, Beacon, Cornerstone. I can go down the list. These are all programs run by DYCD that Chair Althea Stevens is working on. And I agree with you, Hussein. The smallest non-for-profits are the ones that usually do the most. And they struggle to get payments on time by the city. It's not acceptable. We've had organizations fold because they could not meet payroll. They're owed millions of dollars by the city. I wish that we could envision a way, and Chair Stevens can probably make it happen, You know how you have contracts with city agencies? There should be a penalty or a late fee and interest charged on late payments, because you provide the service in advance and then you get paid on the back end. But yet, you've had to incur late fees and interest, and none of that is recognized by the city. So we have to find a way to work with the Mayor's Office of Contracts and other agencies to get non-for-profits paid. And I agree, when you think about our community, the African-American community, where are the African-led CBOs?
For Mariam Consulting Agency, just for 2 minutes to talk. Is there any representative? Okay. Just 2 minutes. Thank you.
Hello everyone, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Neymarim and I'm the CEO of the Maram Agency and Bolo. We are a nonprofit organization that's based here in New York. What we do is we help those who are newly arrived here in America, especially Senegalese, to come with our organization so we can assist them with various different services that they need. So as we look here in the panel, I have worked with the lovely, my sister Adam Abba, with my brother Hussein as well. So if you know anyone who is Senegalese, who needs the services that we offer, please get into contact with me. With the Maram Agency, we are a cross-cultural marketing and consulting agency. We are based here in the Bronx, in Harlem, as well as in Senegal and in France. So if anybody has a small business, if you know anyone who is African, Black-owned businesses, who needs help with branding, who needs help with various different services, such as getting grants or getting connected to different lawyers or whatever the case may be, we are here to assist them as well. Born and raised here in the Bronx, so like most of my work, what we focus on is transnationalism, which is the focus on migration, especially with those who are coming from Senegal and the Gambia. So whoever needs the services that we provide, you are more than welcome to come. Assalamu alaikum mbokk yi, sama tudd mooy Ndeye Marème Ngom, dama am benn agence, sama agence bi mooy Ndeye Marème Agency. Après dama am benn ONG, tur bi mooy Mbolo. Léegi si Mbolo, suñu non-profit organisation bi, dañu liggéey ak Sénégalais ak Gambien yu bari ku nekk fii ci biir États-Unis, surtout ci Bronx. Ñu ngi leen dimbali ci wetu
However, there is a question time, and I think some of those questions are read already. It's mind-blowing, and then we have to read the questions. That's what I gotta say to the audience and everybody. The audience has, the audience has sent me questions, and we'll also provide the microphone to people that want to ask questions verbally, to our borough president, our district attorney, NYPD, and everybody here. So the first question that I have here is that this came from Murray. It says, since President-elect Trump has been elected as the president of the United States, is there any immigration can we fear about, especially that he said he's going to have us deported from that cross through the border? Brother defendant? So I'm gonna read the question again, right? So the question. One second. Okay, David said he want to answer that question, but I'm gonna read the question again. And the question says that since Trump is the president, is there anything immigrants can fear about, especially people that cross the border? Will he deport us?
So thank you so much, Siddiqui. I think this is a very good question. And the Office of the Bronx Borough President, the Borough President is actually working on an event scheduled for December 16. And the title of the event is Election Conversation with Bronx Muslim Leadership Roundtable. So the goal is actually to answer to that question, where we're gonna have elected officials, we're gonna have community leaders like yourself to talk about some of the issues. We're gonna have Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs to actually talk about Know Your Right. We're gonna have Commissioner of Human Rights. So that question, I think that's the best answer, and we're looking forward to seeing some of the leaders on December 16. Thank you so much. Bronx Defender wants to talk as well. We'll make sure they're part of the conversation on December 16th.
Thank you. I apologize again for not hearing the question the first time. Yeah, since the election, we've gotten a lot of outreach from community members who are immigrants who are very concerned about what the implications for them and their communities would be. I can tell you that our office is very concerned about that. We also recognize that no single organization is going to be able to address.
Founder of the Global Lost and Fofana Charity Foundation. I was born and raised in Sierra Leone, but my parents came from Guinea. Because I have 2 minutes, I'm not going to be able to tell my story. But tonight, what I really want to focus on and what I want to talk about is youth empowerment. I have a note here today that I'm going to read and talk about youth empowerment. But there's been some discussion over here that I'm very interested, that got me very attentive. And I want to say thanks to our borough president for your outstanding leadership and your steadfast dedication and the inclusiveness. And I want to thank the district attorney. I mean, what can I say? I am so proud because my daughter worked in your office, Fatimata. So I am proud, I'm a proud parent to see a daughter grown up. And Fatima, stand up. That's my daughter over here. She works at the district attorney's office. So I'm a proud parent. All right, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to thank the host and the entire team for putting this conference together. This is a day many of us have been looking very forward to. And thank you to all of you for coming here tonight. I've seen so many faces in my community that I recognize very well. We have the Manding community here, we have the Giga community here, we have the Gambian community here, the Senegalese community, and so many youth from, I don't want to say Nicaragua, but from so many youth that just came, and I see the worriness in my brothers and sisters, their faces for immigration problem. So I want to say thanks to all of you for coming here today to work with our elected officials. The Global Lost and Fofana Charity Foundation, which is the foundation that I founded in 2016 with my wife. We strongly believe in working with the youth. Because we know the youth are at the forefront of change and innovation. I have seen it within so many fields through my work as a charity worker and as a foundation. The youth are dynamic, exuberant, and energizing, carrying the legacy to achieve a new height of progress and accomplishment. They represent tremendous potential possibilities, energy, creativity, courage, and patience. Empowering the youth will reduce crime rate, unemployment, so many other negative vices in our community. Youth empowerment fosters a stronger society, healthier quality of life, increased self-efficacy, social skills, national development, entrepreneurship, and less dependence on government. Therefore, facilitating youth development ensure our nation and our community development. I encourage our leaders and our elected officials to empower the youth to create a better world by harnessing our greatest treasure, which is the youth. Tonight, the Bronx Borough President mentioned something which I don't know where to start, but I am an example. I started my nonprofit organization 10 years ago. I have been financially sponsoring my organization. And what I've been doing that people say I do in the community, I can tell you, I want to thank the borough president because we started during the COVID. But when the borough president came to office, our resources have doubled. Yes, I'm getting so many food and distribute it to different part of our community, to the Gambian community, to so many masjid. I go to Queens, go to Brooklyn, and different parts of the city. But what we getting is rejection. It's rejection that you mentioned. Small non-profit are not considered. I want you, elected officials, to know about this. We are not getting any funding from nowhere. I can tell you, for the past 10 years running my organization, I had to pay for trucks. I had to pay for the employees. I pay out of pocket for every food that I bring to my community to help my community. It comes out of pockets. But you know what? We're not asking the city to give funding to our organization. What we ask in the city for is to work with these community organizations. Tonight, we have the newly elected president of the Manding community. He's here tonight, Mr. Jiba Kamara. And we have a newly elected Giga in the Guinean community, Mr. Salio, is here tonight. And we have our big brother here, Mandem Mansai is in charge of the Mandem community. And we have the Gambian community. Let's work with our communities to provide jobs for our youth. We need housing. We need community center. That's one of the most important things. So I don't want to leave this stage without saying thank you to all of you. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Thank you so much. I want to thank our moderator, Mr. Sidiki Dozo. Thank you for the work you're doing at AAC. And I also want to thank Mr. David Coulibaly. Thanks to all of you for your wonderful job and support of our community. Thank you.
The DA's office, anybody, Guns Down Life Up, we are a community-based organization. RTG is right there. They're a community-based organization. And we have everything and all the resources for you to want to come out and get it. When we walk the streets as violence interrupters, everybody think we NYPD. We here to help, we offer. Hey, come to the program. No, they're the police, they're the feds. What are you so afraid of if you're not committing the crime? If you're not doing nothing bad, you shouldn't be afraid. Now, if you're not showing up, then you gotta ask yourself the question, what am I doing right? So we can all talk about problems all day, but the solution is within you. Look to the right and look to the left. We are the solution. We're the only ones that's gonna take care of our community because nobody's coming here to do it. But we are the #1 people destructive here. You talk 17% of crime, it's us. We're doing it. Nobody's coming in here doing it to us, we're doing it to ourselves. So we gotta stop with the stigma and we gotta stop lying to ourselves and believing the lies that nobody's here to help you. Again, I was part of it. I was part of it. And I'm not saying I was part of the destruction, I was part of the game of New York City. This was the game of New York. Either you play their side or you play the street side and you worry about getting caught up with Miss Clark. And she don't want to take you to jail. She tells me every day, if you can save the kid, save him, I won't investigate him. But no, guess what? I know you will. Man, believe me, I was scared of you growing up. I already knew what you was about. I said, I'm gonna go get a job. Because I knew what she was doing 15, 20, 30 years up the river. She don't play, but she straightened me up. Yeah, she helped straighten me up. So we have to look within our community and stop saying, yo, it's not me. Yes, it is us. We fix us. And you have the mosque, you have all the imams up in here, you got all political people up in here. All you gotta do is stand around and ask somebody a question. Yo, bro, each one, teach one. And I hear everything everybody's saying. I call it allergic attack back there because of all the garbage I'm hearing in this whole room. Money, 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 money. Money's not gonna solve our problem. We're gonna solve our problem. Stop asking for money. Help yourselves out and we will help you. That's why these powerful people are up there. Thank you.
So we are out of time. And I know a lot of people want to ask questions. We're going to interact after the event. However, I just want to give at least 30 seconds to 45 seconds to all the panelists. And there's an open question. You don't have to answer. But what message would you like to leave with attendees regarding their role in violence prevention effort in our community? Anybody can start.
30 seconds.
If you see something, say something, right? Because not everybody want to be that snitch, right? But if you see something, you want to be, and you want to fix your community, you have to say something. And also the communication, the relationship between each other, right? We need to have that relationship, like my brother said here. It takes a village to raise a child, right? So we need to take care of each other.
So I just want to say thank you all for showing up tonight, right? Like, give yourselves a round of applause for being here. What, y'all don't want to give yourselves a round of applause? Like, I just want to say it's always important that we are showing up, and you guys showed up, which means that you find this issue important. So this shouldn't be the last time you show up. Again, like I've said before, I have a public safety advisory board. I know Tyreek talks about it. We are looking for people in the community to come together to talk about solutions and coming up with a plan of what this looks like. We're looking at legislation and we're looking at budget items that we need to be having me fight for at the city council. Also, I have other advisory boards. When you think about being civically engaged, it is not just voting, it is coming to these meetings. I am a representative, which means I represent you. I can only represent you if I know what your issues are. So you need to be showing up, letting me know what you want to see, how you want to see it. And so this should not be the last time you're coming to me. You should be coming to my office, letting us know how you feel about things, if you're scared, if you need help. But we also are here to come up with solutions if you have ideas. So this should not be the last time. I have advisory boards, I have a youth advisory board, only for young people. If you're under the age of 21, you're not allowed on the board. We have a senior advisory board, we have a multicultural advisory board, we have